Welcome back, you're watching Storyboard. Jean Lin, Global CEO Isobar, calls the exciting time that the media and advertising business is going through the renaissance of marketing and communication. How does an agency deal with these changes? Jean has an interesting take on this, which she elaborates with examples while in conversation with Storyboard editor Anant Rangaswamy. Let's take a look.
Jean, tell me, nowadays media agencies do creativity, creative agencies do digital agencies create ads. So all these lines are blurring. How do you differentiate one from the other?
I think that's the most exciting time for us to be in the business, because it's almost like the renaissance of marketing communications. Yes, the lines are blurred, but that's the reason why I think we need actual holistic thinking. Because digital is sort of like a DNA underpinning all human interaction. So it's like an attitude and skill sets that all specialist agency will need to enable better integration. So it's almost like it needs to be better integrated, but at the same time it needs deep specialization in the area, all through from strategy to delivery.
Right.
So my feeling is that there will be blurring areas, especially from the strategic view. But on the specialist delivery capabilities, it will go deeper and deeper to differentiate.
Yeah. You know, you've said that it's not the idea, it's how you execute the idea that's going to be a differentiator. You know, a lot of people can have an idea, how do you execute it? So can you expand on that for me?
I think right now, because of digital, and because digital create really an on-demand generation from the consumer, it is important not just the strategy, but how you execute the strategy, and how the execution actually feedback to the way strategy are formed.
Yeah.
If you don't have execution capabilities, a lot of time the nuances for success is really in execution and how you manage and learn from that. So it's extremely critical for our age.
Now, staying with this, you know, for the marketer, this is a very difficult time because all these people say the same thing, almost the same language.
Right.
How does he learn that he should work with one agency and not the other? Because the idea sounds good. He will know that they can execute or not execute only later. So how does the marketer help? How does he make his decisions?
I think that it's even more common nowadays that we see, probably not so much in India yet, but we see the trend coming up, is a lot of time clients make a decision on agency, not based on the old pitch model where you go and pitch for ideas, but more on credential and capability audit and understanding from the existing customers of those agencies on how they work together, how flexible, agile they are. That will be, I think, a trend for future clients in selecting the agencies as well.
Yeah, you know, you use the phrase design a lot. The design is a part of this business.
Right.
You know, in a lot of your articles or your talks, you use design. Expand on that. Why is design so important in this business? And when you talk design, what do you mean by design?
Right. So I started in ad agencies, and when I started, design feels like an attachment to the creative department. Sometimes it means visual design and studio. Today, because the way that human interaction with brands are changing so much, the key thing in the strategy is how you design the customer journey, how you make sure brand fit into the ecosystem within the brand. So it's of strategic value rather than the visual value.
Right.
So I think design thinking is something that all business need to embrace, because it actually helps you redefine yourself in a more holistic way.
Right. Can you give me an example of work that you've done where you've showed your capability for design and design thinking? Can you share an example with us from?
I want to talk about two cases, and both of them from Brazil.
Right.
With the same client of Fiat. The reason why I want to bring it that way is because we have a 15 years work relationship with Fiat. I think that's critical in moving forward to the next phase. The relationship between client and agency need to go beyond project base, because a lot of strategic thoughts, you can only do it when you have the mutual understanding and trust, not just for the industry, but for the organization the client live in.
Right.
So one example is Fiat Live Store. It's an online showroom for cars that enable your buying process, and the way we develop a device and train a bunch of people that can actually service customer online. Their device become your eyes.
Right.
So you can tell them what you want to see, what you want to touch, and they'll do it for you in the showroom while you're there sitting at your home with your popcorn.
Right.
So the key thing there is designing that experience into a business model as well. It's an online showroom. It shortens the time you research for cars and help you to really engage with them and book a test drive immediately.
Right.
So that's a process, that's a redefinition of the showroom and dealership. But at the same time, it redefines the process and experience consumer buy cars.
Right. You said two examples. One is this one. What is the other one?
The other is one that we also did for Fiat. It's a car that we call Safe Key. So we all know that drink and drive is something that every car maker wants to avoid. Instead of doing an ad as a public message to consumers, what we do is to design the key. It's like an alcohol tester that you blow to the key. If you don't have alcohol level, then the key will pop up and you can drive the car. If you exceed the limit, it immediately links to a taxi app and bring to your location, and the car wouldn't work because you have alcohol.
Do you do that with any of your clients where you're taking risk as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
And how do you assess ROI on these cases?
So because right now the point of inspiration for a brand, which is the brand storytelling, and the point of transaction, thanks to technology, come closer and closer together. In a lot of instances, we can really evaluate the final results because it's not a piece of communication. So for example, we have in China, using mobile commerce as an example, that we actually help the store to set up their mobile payment. And when the consumer come and they spend money, actually the client can use very simple setup fee that's quite affordable for them. So they're empowered for mobile payment. But the fee for the agency a lot of times is based on the transaction.
Right.
So if we make it very usable, and we actually help them to attract consumers to the stores, the consumer will spend money there, and we get a fixed per transaction.
Right. Okay, finally, Isobar India, what are we going to see here in the next few years?
I think that with the rise of e-commerce in India, with the 4G coming in as a key mobile driver, and we see in many countries, mobile accelerate innovation. And the mobile actually accelerate how brand and transaction come closer together easier. So brand commerce is what we believe as the future of brands.
Right.
We believe that will be one of the killer app from Isobar India as well. And a lot of clients will be able to take all the experience that we have experimenting in other countries, try to create their own testing ground before mobile really have a phenomenal impact on the majority of the audience.
Right.
So this will be the way that we actually want to take Isobar India, is to ensure that in the offering of brand commerce, we help brands and business transform.
Right.
And that digital transformation will enable them to be successful in India, but also will help a lot of India brands be successful around the world.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jean.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you very much.
It is time for us to slip into a short break. When we return, we have 2 exclusive previews of the campaign for Tata Sky and Make My Trip in this week's notice board.